Sushi has completed a remarkable cultural trajectory in Western markets, from exotic Japanese specialty to mainstream restaurant staple to weekly household routine, available now in grocery store refrigerator cases, airport terminals, and fast casual chains built around the concept of accessible raw fish. This democratization of sushi has brought genuine pleasures of flavor and nutritional variety to millions of people who might otherwise have limited access to seafood diversity. It has also brought, at industrial scale, three public health issues that receive attention in specialty food safety circles, but have not penetrated consumer awareness in proportion to the risk they represent. The anisaki's parasite problem is the most viscerally compelling, possibly because it involves a nematode worm. Anisaki species naturally inhabit the digestive tracts of marine mammals and use fish as intermediate hosts. As global raw fish consumption has increased, anisaki's infection rates and nisakiasis have risen correspondingly, with the most dramatic increases in countries that have adopted sushi and sashimi consumption most extensively. In the United States, case reporting is complicated by the frequency of misdiagnosis, and nisakiasis produces severe abdominal pain, nausea, and vomiting within hours to days of consumption, a presentation that mimics appendicitis, gastroenteritis, and Crohn's disease closely enough that the parasitic cause is often missed without endoscopic visualization. The FDA requires that fish intended for raw consumption be frozen at specified temperatures to kill anisaki's larvae, but sushi grade is not a legally defined regulatory standard, and compliance monitoring is inconsistent. Mercury exposure from sushi consumption mirrors the concerns around canned tuna, but is often more severe in practice, because sushi enthusiasts frequently consume larger quantities of high-mercury species than casual tuna sandwich eaters. Tuna, particularly bluefin and bigeye, the varieties preferred in high-end sushi, are among the highest mercury fish in the commercial supply. Swordfish, offered as swordfish tataki or in specialty rolls, exceeds FDA advisory limits with a single serving per week for pregnant women. A sushi enthusiast eating multiple tuna rolls twice a week, accumulated over months, builds a meaningful methylmercury body burden that the pleasurable ritual of sushi consumption makes difficult to perceive as a risk behavior. The fish fraud dimension is perhaps the most surprising to consumers who trust restaurant menus. Oceana, the Ocean Conservation Organization, has published multiple studies using DNA barcoding to verify whether fish sold under menu descriptions actually corresponds to the species claimed. The results are consistently alarming. Red snapper is mislabeled in over 90% of cases in some regional studies, typically replaced with cheaper tilapia or escolar. White tuna, a common sushi menu item, is almost universally escolar, a fish that contains waxy esters the human body cannot properly digest, producing a distinctive and unpleasant gastrointestinal effect that the restaurant industry appears to have successfully ignored for years. The mislabeling is not uniform across establishment types. Higher-end sushi restaurants with trained chefs and direct supplier relationships tend to perform better. But the scale of the problem across the industry is substantial enough that consumers cannot assume menu accuracy.